Hello everyone, I am Nidoking and I'm done playing Eryi's action. Here is the chronicle of my failures in EX mode. I let it sit for about 2 weeks before taking on the next session, so I was a little out of practice. Surrounded by traps. I will not fall for any of your traps. I'm not sure if I knew about this trap or not. There's an extra spike ball off the bottom of the screen there. And then of course this part. I usually have some kind of trouble here. In this room, this costs me so many lives every time. I would have made it too. So, I had about half my lives left when I got back to Farta. But this is the part of the game where being out of practice is probably the most detrimental to your performance. Especially since every time I get back to this point, I always find a different method for dodging all the blue balls. Like, not dodging them at all. But after a couple more tries, I was ready. So here's my new dodging pattern. Get to the bottom of the screen, find a gap, squeeze into it, and get ready for more waves of attacks. It's probably a little less reliable than the old strategy of getting to the bottom left corner, but the left corner is almost always a solid wall of fireballs at that point. So I think the lower right is probably the best place to go. And of course, it all comes down to where she's positioned vertically on the screen when she launches them. Whenever you see these waves of red fireballs, or orange I guess, you want to be as high or low as you can to give you more room. So the gaps aren't that hard to find if you've got that much space between where the fireballs are launching and where you are at the time. I don't know how I dodged that. She likes to trap you in a corner when she's launching 8 red fireballs at once. And the yellow ones, if you get pinned at the side of the screen, you need some luck and some fast movement to dodge them. I don't know if we've seen this pattern yet. This is her most powered up set of orange fireballs. And the middle row there will actually change direction to home in on you. I'm sure we'll be seeing that better later in the video. And I let myself get trapped way too early. So demoralizing. The best thing I think you can say is when she's shooting the yellow ones, you want to stay as close to the center of the screen as you can throughout the entire pattern. So, with that near miss, I was just so frustrated I went for full aggression, taking a lot of risks I probably shouldn't have. But there are some times when you really need to be aggressive and do as much damage as you can, even at the risk of, making the patterns a bit more difficult to dodge. Because if you don't, you're going to have to dodge more waves of stuff. And that just gives you more opportunities to make a mistake. So, with the orange fireballs, you have to learn when in the pattern to start moving in a particular direction so that you're going to end at the top or bottom of the screen. This is something that just comes with practice after having done this so many times. Oh, so many times. And I got so lucky with that one. I think I'm being a little less aggressive here, frankly. Now I'm actually playing on the defense for once. But I think I should be able to take her down before she gets to any of her most difficult patterns anymore. Pink fireball's not a big deal. And if you can stay far enough away from her, those orange ones aren't as big a deal either. This one again, you need to be able to move between rows. I should have changed rows there, I didn't. Still managed to luck out, and now she's pretty much finished. With some very slick dodging on my part. And I have finally beaten Farta, a month after I started. But to no one's surprise, there is another final boss afterward. And I have no idea what this one is going to do. So you'll notice I'm just playing it safe, hanging back. No idea what's about to happen. I submit that I could not have seen that coming. The good news is, once you've beaten Farta, you get to start at the UFO every time. So, orange fireballs, not too much of a challenge. Still a challenge, but not a great one. And now I'll just hide myself in the corner and wait to see what happens next. Oh, okay, that's easy enough. There are green fireballs that tear Eryi's clothes. I mean, this doesn't seem like it should be too bad. All you gotta do is be careful not to move too much after the green fireballs appear on screen. And just to remind you that the orange fireballs are still a threat. You can't just count them out simply because they're easier to dodge. One of these days I'm going to learn to go over the top of that particular wave. Oh, there we go. I finally made it through. And because I didn't really have a whole lot of lives to start with, the new game over screen. If you die specifically to the UFO, now I get to see where the spotlight is coming from. This is a great consolation. And I'll be seeing a lot of that. So I went forward again a couple days later, while I'm still in full form. Mostly. Well, that's something that doesn't happen very often. I trapped myself. I hate this level. Ha! 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 I got past that part. Got past that part. I hate this level. I hate everything. Nice, slick dodge. And I completely miscalculate my position. So I haven't really got a whole lot of lives left at this point. I think being out of practice was probably the best thing I did. So, yeah, ultimately, I ran out of lives and didn't even get back to the UFO. So, I wasn't done. I just hit start, went back to the menu screen, and just started over. Right then. So I hit start, went back to the menu screen, and started again immediately. I love the way that the lives counter shakes when Croco hits the ground. And just to show you that I sometimes manage to get something right, there's level 5 in 1 life. So here I'm not really doing a whole lot of damage to Farta, and that is what the ring of pink fireballs looks like if she's still at near full health. It's actually harder to dodge than either of the other variations, but only because it comes out so quickly. Sometimes I just completely goof up. And now she's right in the middle of the screen. And I find a gap. We're now in official don't blow it territory. One more hit should do it. There we go. So, not very many lives, but at least I get a couple more tries against the UFO. Yeah, I learned eventually that I really do need to stay in the center as long as I can and get in some more hits before the fireball actually goes off. Alright. Let's see what else this spaceship has for me. Oh, it's even showing me where it's going to oh! Of course, it's showing me where it's safe. Well, now I know. You're not going to catch me off guard this time. I regret everything. Alright. So first, we get in the region that it's marking out. Then we get out of the region. And now we see what else it has for me. Oh, it's the second loop, apparently. It's going back to the original. Okay, once we dodge that wave, now we've got the blue fireball that explodes outwards again. And oh, this is fun. That wasn't actually too bad. Yeah, this one I think is even easier to dodge, especially if it slows down a little like that. Hooray, processor chugging. What the... That's a lot of things to dodge. Okay. See, these two waves, not all that bad. And again, I'm just used to playing defense, ignore where the UFO is, dodge the fireballs. This one, sometimes there's just no room to get by. Yeah, I could have dodged that if I'd gone up instead of down, but you can't always see that while you're doing it. 9 lives is not enough. So, I came back to it a week later. Fresh, invigorated, not doing too badly, although I think every try after this, I managed to lose a life on the first level. So this time I decided to go back to Croco again, see what else he has to say. Apparently Farta is a him. I think that's just a mistranslation. And I didn't lose any lives against Croco either time, so I figured, okay, maybe I'm doing well enough, I'll just continue. This may have been a mistake. Yeah, there we go. I didn't hit my head on the block this time. But I must have hit my head on something, because I have no idea why I did that. But I've got a nice, healthy stock of lives this time for taking on the UFO. Yeah, the reason I dodge upward, even though downward lets you get a couple more hits, is if you dodge upwards, you get to hit the UFO a bunch of times while it's lining up for this attack. And I still can't thread that particular gap reliably. Alright, we're back to this. Doing okay? And then I just twitch or something. Not a whole lot of luck that time. So, I came back to it a week later. Fresh, invigorated, ready to go. Dodging fish like a pro. And here's something that I mentioned in the thread, that if you're too far to the right when you dodge the blue fireballs, then Farta can pin you against the side of the screen with the pink ones that follow. But still, 20 lives. One of these, I have to come up with the skill to beat this thing. I mean, the biggest problem with the UFO is that you don't get to practice. You know, any other boss, or any other level, you can at least go back to normal mode, just choose that level, play through the easy version, and it is at least of some value when it comes to coming back to the hard version. You've got some skills you've practiced. The UFO, you have to get through all of the levels, you have to beat Farta again every time, just to get a couple of tries with whatever lives you've got left. If there were some kind of practice mode, then I probably would have been able to beat this thing. As it is, we get pink fireballs, and then death. It is inevitable. I don't think it's humanly possible to dodge all those fireballs for as long as it's going to take to destroy the UFO. It just can't be done. "20 lives, 21 failures," which is 0 counts. So a week later, I hooked it up again, gave it another try. I haven't done that in a long time. But here I am with 18 lives left. I've beaten Farta enough times, I should be able to do it with my eyes closed, almost. Although not really, this is still very difficult. Oh, that was just me being terrible at it. Alright. So, how badly did I do? I barely even get a shot at the UFO. Of course, at this point, I've actually watched a YouTube video that tells you what you're supposed to do about that final attack. You're not supposed to deal with it. You're supposed to stay in line with the UFO, take it down before it starts using that attack. That's the secret. But I couldn't pull it off. So once again, I just hit start and went right on trucking. Another playthrough immediately following the first one. And it was terrible. Another mistake I haven't made in quite a while. But at least this time, I've got a shot. Plenty of lives, plenty of chances not to screw up. So I got my 2 secrets. The thing from YouTube about destroying the UFO while it's doing its first 2 spiral patterned attacks. And also an interesting thing I noticed where your shots seem to come out faster if you're moving to the right. Of course, I kind of gave up on the hiding in the upper right corner. That was pretty stupid. And I'm not sure that the shots actually do come out faster if you're moving right. It's probably just a graphical thing because they look closer together because you're moving towards where they are before you fire the next one. But it makes me feel better. And in a battle like this, that's really important. Especially if you can goad it into actually doing this attack, that gives you plenty of chances to attack it before it starts this pattern, although... yeah, I didn't even survive that one. So here's the trick in full operation. Don't go to the safe spot on the screen, go to wherever you can shoot the UFO the most. Just run down its health, so that when it starts its final wave, it's almost dead, and you don't have to dodge these fireballs. I made that exact same mistake that you saw right there so many times. I think even 3 in a row. But I am incapable of learning from my mistakes. So here's my strategy that has served me so well so many times. Hide in the upper left corner after getting as many shots as you can, move to the right, get those apparently rapid-fire shots off as quickly as you can, dodge upwards so that you're shooting it as much as possible. I'm sure it's got extra patterns if you just sit there and don't shoot at it. Like, it'll go through some easier versions of some of these patterns. I think this one, it gives you 3 gaps between the blue fireballs and then 3 rows of pink ones. I really have no interest in trying. When I got up here, I didn't want to do any gimmicks. My entire goal was simply beat this thing by any means necessary, and I got almost no hits on it. The fireballs just didn't give me a chance, and now I gotta dodge this attack pretty much forever to have any hope of winning. I have no idea how I did that. But that's it. That's the end of Eryi's Action Extra Mode. I hope you all enjoyed it, because I felt pretty miserable through a lot of that experience. It was kind of humiliating. I mean, I've pretty much always been terrible at games, but a game like this makes me feel really, really bad at what I'm trying to do. Still, I managed to conquer it in the end. Took me 2 months. Now I can start devoting all my time to Dark Souls again. And maybe doing an LP of a game that doesn't actually require anything from me. Just something I can play and enjoy. And no, as far as I can tell, there's nothing new or special in the credits, except for this. Now we get the UFO, the real boss, the real monster of this game. And then, of course, the new ending. Farta and Eryi get to share the melon. Isn't it sweet? Totally not worth all the effort I had to go to get this. Not at all.